Effortless third-party API integration with AWS Step Functions, a code-free approach. This podcast is brought to you by Business Compass LLC. We are an Amazon Web Services advanced consulting partner. We build and migrate workloads to Amazon Cloud. Our website is businesscompassllc.com. Our phone number is 973-638-2228. Our email address is contact@businesscompassllc.us. Integrating third-party APIs is a crucial aspect of modern product development, but it often involves complex coding and error-prone configurations. AWS Step Functions offers a streamlined, no-code approach to API integration, allowing developers to build, test, and deploy workflows with minimal effort. In this podcast, we'll explore how to leverage AWS Step Functions for API integration, focusing on integrating the Twilio API as a practical example. Leveraging AWS Step Functions for API integration in product development. AWS Step Functions simplify the orchestration of microservices, including third-party APIs, into complex workflows. By visualizing the entire process, Step Functions enables developers to focus on business logic rather than managing infrastructure. This no-code approach is particularly beneficial in product development, where rapid iteration and deployment are key. Choosing the right step function workflow, Express versus Standard. Selecting the appropriate workflow type is essential when working with AWS Step Functions. Express workflows are designed for high-volume, short-duration tasks and are cost-effective for event-driven architectures. They are ideal for real-time applications where latency is a concern. On the other hand, standard workflows are better suited for long-running tasks requiring high durability and auditability. They provide detailed execution history and are more resilient to failure. Express workflows are often preferred for integrating APIs like Twilio due to their low latency and cost efficiency. Integrating Twilio API, a practical example. Integrating Twilio's SMS API with AWS Step Functions is a straightforward process that can be accomplished without writing any code. Here's a breakdown of how to set up this integration using an Express workflow. Create an AWS Step Function. Define your workflow in the AWS Management Console. Use the built-in service integrations to invoke the Twilio API. Define the Twilio API call. Use the task state to invoke the Twilio API. Specify the API endpoint, request method, and necessary parameters, such as the recipient's phone number and message content. Handle responses. Add states to handle the API's success and failure responses, allowing you to build robust error handling logic. Express Step Function Definition Breakdown. Here's a basic example of an Express Step Function definition for integrating with the Twilio API. Start at Send SMS. States. Send SMS. Type, Task. Resource, ARN, AWS, states: API Gateway invoke. Parameters. API endpoint, https://api.twilio.com/2010. 0401/accounts/account/sid/messages.json. HTTP method, post. Request body. 2 plus 1,234,567,890. From +0987654321. Body, your message here. End, true. Key policies for secure API integration. When integrating third-party APIs, security is paramount. Ensure that your step functions are configured with the following policies. IAM role with least privilege. Assign a role to your step function that grants only the necessary permissions for invoking the API. API key management. Reference API keys in AWS Secrets Manager or Parameter Store in your step function definition. Network security. Use VPC endpoints and security groups to restrict access to the API. Event Bridge API connection and logging configuration. AWS Event Bridge can trigger step functions based on specific events, adding flexibility to your workflows. Configure logging to CloudWatch to monitor API calls and track issues in real time. This setup allows for seamless integration and robust observability of your API interactions. Defining the API gateway for seamless communication. You can set up an API gateway to enable external services or clients to trigger your step functions. This gateway bridges your step function and the outside world, providing a secure and scalable interface for initiating workflows. Testing and deploying the integration with AWS SAM. Testing and deploying step functions can be automated using the AWS Serverless Application Model, SAM. With AWS SAM, you can define your step function, API gateway, and any associated resources in a single template, making it easy to deploy and manage your integration. Create a SAM template, define your step function and API gateway in a YAML template. Deploy with SAM CLI. Use the SAM CLI to build and deploy your application, ensuring all resources are correctly configured and deployed. Alternative triggers for step functions. Beyond API gateways. While API gateway is a common trigger for step functions, there are alternative triggers to consider. Event bridge. Trigger workflows based on events from AWS services or custom applications. S3 bucket events. Initiate workflows when files are uploaded or modified in an S3 bucket. CloudWatch events. Start workflows based on scheduled tasks or alarms. Conclusion. Building efficient workflows with no-code API integration. AWS Step Functions provides a powerful and flexible platform for integrating third-party APIs without extensive coding. By leveraging features like Express Workflows, API Gateway, and Event Bridge, you can build efficient, scalable, and secure workflows that drive your product development forward. Thank you for listening to our podcast. Please share this podcast, visit our website, and follow our social media links.